Hi, this is Roger Rebenak with the Niagara Security Integration Team. You're listening to Control Talk Radio now. With 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get that juice flowing again. Here's Kenny and here's Eric.
Welcome to Control Talk Now. This is your host, Eric Stromquist, with your control news of the week for the week ending December 15th, 2013. I am joined, as usual, by the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Kenny Smyers from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Kenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Eric. I love your enthusiasm, and I need it because it's a cold, snowy day in Pittsburgh, and I'm sitting here with my coffee and my favorite sweater because it's I don't want to burn energy for no reason. But by here, by my house is empty, all but me here doing the show with you. How are things down in Georgia?
Well, we have a rainy day down in Georgia. It's a rainy, nasty day, and quite often we lament the fact that we're inside recording Control Talk now on a beautiful spring or summer day, and this is one of these days that I'm really happy to be inside doing the recording. So we got a lot going on. I want to say a special thanks to Roger Rebenak for that introduction. As you know, Roger is up for the 2013 Best Technical Support Person of the Year, and Roger stays busy. He's like most of the candidates in this category. They're really, really good. We're going to hear from Arthur Ledebimsky later on from DGLogik. Arthur's also up for this category as well. So, Kenny, a lot going on. What do you say we just let's get to the sponsors right away?
All right, Eric, great. Control Talk Now sponsors of the week ending December 15th are Honeywell, J2 Innovations, and Contemporary Controls. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing y'all in New York at the Control Trends Awards. And to all our viewers, please visit these sites. The connections from the ControlTrends.org site will take you right to these offerings.
Well, absolutely, Kenny, and a special shout out to our sponsors, because I tell you what, without our sponsors, there'd be no Control Trends Awards, and as you know, Kenny, you and I are committed to the fact that we think our Control Trends people in the HVAC controls industry and building automation industry are superstars. We don't think they get recognized the way they should, Kenny. So once a year, we're committed to having the Control Trends Awards, which we all come together. We celebrate each other. We celebrate our industries. Hopefully we party like rock stars and have a great time, because we really think that we need to have our version of the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammys or whatever. And it's happening this year in New York City, January 21st at BB King's Club. And, Kenny, we could not do it without our sponsors. So I echo what you say. Very special thanks to our sponsors.
You know what, Eric, and I really love the way you can lead this into where we want to bring it, because to conclude or to round out the list of the most valuable sport people, we had SK Fu from EasyIO, Joe Carcary from Belimo, Chris Lane from Johnson Controls, James Johnson from Vicon, Barry Gordon from ACI, in addition to Arthur Ledebimsky from DGLogik and Roger Rebenak. But again, we're bringing positive attention to these very, very talented people that really provide the structural support of our industry. So hats off to you guys.
Completely agree, Kenny. Okay, Kenny, let's break some categories down. What do you say, buddy? So what's our first category, Kenny?
All right, Eric, the first category will be the 2013 Thermostat of the Year. And as you know, that's just overwhelmingly competitive, and there's just one star-studded product after another.
No, absolutely, Kenny. I mean, and it's interesting because I think even though they are thermostats, they all sort of have their specialties, the things that they're really, really good at, and the areas that they're trying to address. So who do we have up first, Kenny?
First up, we have InTouch. We have the InTouch EMS stat. InTouch is a fabulous product too. It's marketed as a thermostat, but it's so much more. The InTouch logo says we save, we measure, we manage. We take control of your facilities. We provide a simple but sophisticated automation system for restaurants, retail chains, and schools. Just the litany of features: reduce energy usage, control HVAC and lighting, manage from anywhere, control multiple facilities, monitor equipment health, and increase your profits.
Well, Kenny, I got to tell you, I completely agree. As you know, we handle InTouch, and this is where it gets a little difficult for us to be, for me anyway, to be maybe as objective as I should, because InTouch, Kenny, it is so much more than a thermostat. Greg Fusulo, the founder, and his team, which includes James Walton and several really, really good folks, they're a smaller company. They're sort of lean. They're mean. They really go after it. But Kenny, it is they're sort of going after that small building market where too small for a Jace or full-blown system, but too big for a residential type thermostat. And these guys are all over it. The thermostat allows you to monitor additional points, meaning you can monitor like electrical consumption. They got a really nice module that allows you to measure the CT or electrical consumption. This allows you to correspond that with the run times on a unit to see if there's some abnormalities there, so you can solve that. But these guys, Kenny, they do really, really good stuff. They're not standing still, and I think they got a great product. We have several videos posted as well as training sessions on InTouch on the Control Trend site, so be sure to check those out before you vote.
All right, Eric, next up we have KMC. KMC, the Control Trends Awards community nominated the KMC FlexStat. Now, the KMC FlexStat, again, we're testing the boundaries of a thermostat because what the FlexStat is, it's basically a small automation controller from a single space to multiple zones in a building. KMC has many possible building automation solutions. The KMC FlexStat provides control of temperature, humidity, and even CO2 levels and occupancy that link to control schedules, link these controls to schedules and motion-based room occupancy for maximum energy efficiency.
And of course, that's our friend Ben Dorsey. Ben was on the show a couple weeks ago and sort of walked us through that product as well as several other products KMC has up for Control Trends Awards. So the FlexStat seems like that could be a real mover, Kenny. I've never sold one, but from what I'm hearing, and if Ben Dorsey's involved, I think it's just got to be a fantastic product.
All right, Eric, I'm sure it is, and I'm sure it's going to do well. Again, this is a very competitive category. Next up, we have ecobee. Reading a little bit from the post you made, ecobee is in the hunt for the Control Trends Thermostat of the Year. Now, ecobee, again, like you said, each one of these guys has a little, or each one of these products has a little bit of a twist as far as what feature and benefit they really focus on. And ecobee is just, it's so user-friendly. It has they host a website for the contractors that allows a contractor to really manage their thermostat business and their customer-based business. Anything from the alerts, alarms, using that Google map so you get an instant readout of where you've got problems, if you have any problems, and how to schedule a day. So it's a great product. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the ecobee?
Well, we handle ecobee as well, Kenny. We've had really good success with them. It's a nice-looking thermostat. It has a beautiful graphical display. It's easy to set up, easy to use. And, of course, we're big Stuart Lombard fans. Stuart is the guy that started ecobee. He rides a bike to work in Canada, so, I think that's really cool. I think he walks the talk in terms of trying to be energy conscious. And I think Stuart started ecobee very much like Tony Fidel, who we'll talk about in a minute, with the notion of a programmable thermostat does not need to be difficult to program. So he wanted the user interface to be real easy to use. And I think he accomplished that, Kenny. It's a really, really nice thermostat.
Oh, I agree 100%. And again, very well known throughout the North America markets. I sell ecobee too, or we sell, Smarts Company sells ecobee. And again, we just they're easy, they're fun, and they're formidable. All right, Eric. Next up, we have the Maverick Stat IP, the MT201. This is a really, again, formidable product. This is a borderline controller, but it's again sold and marketed as a thermostat. It provides low-cost solutions for centralized heating and cooling controls, scheduling, monitoring, receiving email, SMS alerts for multi-locations, retail, quick-serve restaurants, convenience stores, light commercial and institutional, small remote buildings. It's just really, really easy to put in, easy to get up and running. It has a very user-friendly graphic tool, and again, just a fabulous product, and it made its way into the Control Trends Thermostat of the Year award. So that's hats off to Maymac and the Maverick Stat IP201, MP201. Kenny,
that's one of the things I love about the awards too is, we have not covered the Maverick, I didn't even know it really existed until it was nominated. I think you were aware of it and had worked with it in the past and spoke very highly of it. So one of the things I love about the awards is the controls community brings us really cool people that we might not be focused on. So yeah, I echo what you say. Congratulations to Maymac, and let's see how they do with the thermostat of the year.
All right, next up we have the Viconics VT8000, another just very formidable product. Anybody that's in the business in that light commercial building space, I've seen some of those go into large residences, and I've seen them integrated in large applications where you have like a hotel where you have 30, 40 of these stats. But the Viconics VT8000 is the perfect balance between simplicity and sophistication, and they do a great job marketing the product as well. The VT8000, they say that there has never been a better hospitality solution with as much flexibility and energy savings features built into one elegant device as the VT8000. And again, Viconics has, I think they've kind of perfected the a la carte style of your thermostat selections. In other words, when we have very critical or very competitive job applications and projects where you don't want to get any features that you don't need, but you have to meet the spec.
Yeah.
Viconics allows you to go down your little checklist and make sure you've got your occupancy, you've got your your backnet or your LAN or your wireless communication requirement. Then you can do your heat pump. So they let you select exactly what you need and buy the thermostat closest to the application. And they don't make you take a big thermostat for a small job and vice versa.
And of course, Kenny, there are defending champions. They won last year, not with this series of stats, but with a different series. So Viconics is not standing still. They've upgraded their thermostat, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they fare this year. I concur with you. They have a really cool sort of, roll your own type stat, if you will, where you can pick just the features you need on them. So congratulations to Viconics and good luck to them. And who do we have up next, Kenny?
All right, Eric, next up is a very, very, very amazing thermostat that just came in out of the blue last year and has never stopped. We hear rumors that they're selling between 40 and 50,000 of these units a year, and I'm talking about the Nest thermostat. Why don't you give us a little insight into Tony Fidel, the Nest product, and
Well, Kenny, we're just going to take credit for them doing so well because I think we've given them so much publicity and talked about them so much. And Tony Fidel, I mean, he's my buddy. We've never spoken. We probably never will. I keep inviting him on the show, but I think it's because I invite him on the show so much, Kenny, that people are really embracing it. But I think there's just such a buzz around this thermostat. It's a gorgeous stat. I think I've talked a bit about my one of my mentors and teachers, Marshall Thurber, and he has a son, Rawson Marshall Thurber, who's a guy that wrote and directed Dodgeball. He just did another one, We Are the Millers. So he is like always on Hollywood's most eligibles bachelor's list. And anyway, Marshall was telling me, and this is just how Nest is the beauty of their marketing and how they've captured the imagination. With all the cars and the cool house and everything that Rawson has, Marshall goes to visit him in L.A., and what does he want to show him? The first thing he shows him? His Nest thermostat. So Nest has really captured the imagination of people. It's definitely in the realm of the cool, so we really got to congratulate those guys for that. I think, it's a cool stat. It's a neat stat. I just bought, they're expanding that. We talked last week, Kenny, on the show about how they've gone into the smoke detectors now. I just bought a couple of the Nest Protect smoke detectors, which are really cool. Can't help myself with that kind of stuff, so I'll report on that. But Nest is formidable. I mean, Kenny, when we check the stats on our website, there are more hits on the Nest thermostat than anything else. So they've generated curiosity about thermostats. And for that, I think the industry owes them a debt of gratitude because they're taking, just like we're doing for the people in our industry in terms of bringing them to the limelight and celebrating, how cool our people in our industry are. I think Nest is doing it to some of the products, especially the thermostat. So be interesting to see if, how Nest fares this year. They did well last year. Also be interesting to see if Tony shows up and sits at the table next to us because, I think you got it lined up with that, the marketing director from that thermostat company in Spain who, just so you know, Tony looks an awful lot like Bo Derek. So not only is she brilliant, she's apparently beautiful. So she's going to come sit at the table. We're both hoping that maybe you'll come sit with us too. So Tony, again, it's New York City, January 21st. Hope we'll see you there. And that's all I have to say about Nest and Tony Fidel.
Okay, Eric, just a couple of clean up there a little bit. We don't know if Chantel's coming or not, but if she does, she is a very...
what was her name again? And what was the name of that company? Chantel. It's a Spanish name, right? So anyway, check. Hey, you know what? Just check the post last week. And Chantel, you are welcome to come on the show for sure. And I'll put it this way. If you and Tony don't come, I might not go to the awards. Okay. Well, in just summary with Nest, they introduced us very, very heavily into disruptive technology. I think that was that was a wake up call to everything that is going on now, whether it's data visualization, the guys from DGLogik and J2. They're just showing us all the new wave technology and how it's coming into our business, it's changing our business. But disruptive technology came down through the thermostat world of Nest. Was a very important starting point. You guys all really thinking, looking over our shoulders and realizing that you're going to have somebody's moving the cheese around the board, and you're going to have to keep moving to get your share of the cheese. Right.
That brings us to our last nominee for the 2013 Thermostat of the Year, and that's the Honeywell Prestige 2.0 HD. And again, when you talk about putting it all together and providing a set of solutions under the auspices of a thermostat, nobody does better than Honeywell. And this Prestige 2.0 is basically a comfort system. I mean, when you think about conditioned air, you've got 4 things that you got to worry about. You've got to bring heating and air conditioning, and you've got to filter the air. You've got to humidify and dehumidify it. And imagine that coming from a thermostat, one single thermostat. Well, the Honeywell Prestige 2.0 with its accessories, and it's a great post if you go to the this week's post on it, because in terms of business and in terms of contractor business, it connects you to more sales. Accessories connect you to a larger impact and a larger, multiple points with your customer that you can take care of their solutions.
Well, I got to tell you, our friend Mike Keller, who was a co-winner of the HVAC Controls Executive of the Year last year, moved over to that division. And Mike and his team have really, really been making some great strides with that thermostat. I think it's always had the horsepower, like you say, Kenny. I just didn't think it sort of had the sex appeal. And I tell you what, I think they've done a great job with that, where you get the different colored displays. It's a sleeker look now. To me, the functionality and the fact that it's expandable, where you can bring in different components for your home into it through the Red Link, has never been in question. I think they just bring, like you say, a great solution set that you can sort of add on to with things from humidifiers and dehumidifiers and stuff like that. But hey, for me, it's a really, really sexy looking stat now. So if you hadn't had a chance to check that out, check it out. I think they've done great and would think they're going to do very well in the awards this year.
Yeah, they sure will. And Eric, just to summarize that whole thermostat category, again, the whole concept of the air conditioning and the whole concept is that you really and truly now are putting one product in there. It's designed to be economical, and it's designed to be man-machine interface friendly, user-friendly, because Lord knows if you can't do something that the customer wants, they won't give you another chance. But you have these interesting features being built in, like being used for night lights. You put in the icon of your logo onto a thermostat. So it's just they're putting so much fascinating, innovative technology into a thermostat. But again, the thermostat that's doing the control of temperature, control humidity, control air circulation, and then filter the air. So you can put filters in now and know it. And add devices like you had with your friend, where you break down the molecules in the air and give people a better environment inside of the building or residential envelope.
Well, right. And I think the thing that they all have in common that we sort of take for granted now, Kenny, is all of them have phone apps where you can control remotely your thermostat and your location. So that's just expected now. All these thermostats have those features built into them. So any of these stats, Kenny, would be a great representation or a great representative for the 2013 Control Trends Thermostat of the Year. Very pleased to introduce our first guest. His name is Arthur Ledebimsky. He is from DGLogik and is nominated for the Best Technical Support Person of the Year. Hey, Arthur is part of Eugene Mazzo's team over at DGLogik. A great group of guys. I've met Arthur, spent some time with him. He is just a fantastic guy. So, Arthur, welcome to the show, and congratulations on your nomination.
Hi, Eric. Yes, it's really great to be here, too.
Arthur, we know a little bit about DGLogik and DG Box. Tell us a little bit more about DGLogik.
DGLogik was founded in 2007. We are based in San Francisco. DGLogik is a technology company that provides innovative software solutions that enable and visualize the Internet of Things. Our mainstream products are DGLux and DGBox. DGLux is our visualization platform that many of you already know. It helps thousands of companies get a better user experience. It allows users to create customizable applications and dashboards and targets multiple audiences, like facility managers, executives, and tenants. DGBox, on the other hand, is an appliance platform. It's our new product that includes a BMS system and DGLux inside, all in a compact package. It is ideal for light commercial applications, and it's very cost effective.
So Arthur, I'm just curious, how did you get in the business?
Well, I was always passionate about technology and innovation. Dennis, our CTO, introduced me to buildings. He worked with controls for many years. And Eugene, in turn, introduced me to Dennis. Eugene and I go way back. We've been friends since childhood. Overall, working in the building space is very exciting. Buildings are at the core of our daily lives. And it's great to be able to improve that experience and really just help the infrastructure be more efficient.
Okay, so Arthur, as you know, the worldwide Control Trends community has nominated you for Best Technical Support Person of the Year. In your opinion, what makes a great technical support person?
First of all, I would like to thank the community for the nomination. It really means a lot to me. It's an honor. I believe that support in general has two main components. It's about getting the right answers and getting them fast. Now, nobody knows absolutely everything, so a great support person is someone who is able to engage his resources and all of his teams, really, to get an answer and, of course, get it to the appropriate people quickly. So being organized and proactive in responding is definitely a plus.
Arthur, tell us a little bit more about people do business with DGLux and DGLogik. What can a business partner expect, and why is that business experience unique? Tell us a little bit more about the business experience.
Here at DGLogik, we strive to make a positive impact in the building automation industry, making projects simpler and faster to implement while improving the end-user experience is our primary goal. When you choose to use our products, we will ensure that each project that you do is really a showcase that will drive more business to your company. And I will personally make sure that all of our staff is supporting you every step of the way.
Arthur, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to be on the show. We will look forward to seeing you and Eugene and the rest of the team in New York City at the 2013 Control Trends Awards.
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't miss it. I will see you in New York, and I look forward to catching up in person. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, the next post was Novo Fin online training. This was a detailed training session, the basic features of Fin Builder. And just a little bit about Novo integrations. They create, consult, teach, and obviously they're experts on Fin building and SkySpark. And they do 3D visualizations, dashboards, just quite a company. Recommend everybody go visit them at www.novo-int.com, and great site. And I do believe that is Jason Briggs' brother, I noticed. So the J2 Innovations lineage is very compact. So I imagine they're just ready and excited to promote the J2 Innovations product line, and they're very competent at doing it. And
right. Well, I tell you what, if Jason's mom and dad have any other brothers with some of that DNA flowing through their veins, we'd like to talk to them, because those are some bright fellas right there. And speaking of Jason Briggs, Kenny, let's bring him on the show. Jason's up for the HVAC Controls Executive of the Year, as well as some other categories on J2. And Kenny, I think you and I first got a glimpse of Jason and Scott Minch at the Haystack Connect meeting in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'll never forget those guys coming up live on stage in their hillbilly outfits, bringing buildings and points online in front of a crowd. It was truly a heroic effort. That stuck with me. I think Jason Briggs is one of the coolest guys in our industry. He is not Walt from Breaking Bad. He's not even Heisenberg, although he gets around so much, maybe he is a little bit like Heisenberg. So with that, hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Eric, for having us on Control Trends. It's Friday here in Southern California. I got my Breaking Bad shirt on. It's Friday. Hopefully you've watched the show. It's a great show. I love it. And thanks again for having us on.
Jason, J2 Innovations is up for several CTA awards this year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the 2013 Building Automation Graphic Tool of the Year, J2 Innovations FinBuilder.
Thanks for putting us up for the award with FinBuilder. We're amazed by the success we've had this year with the community and what we've heard, how people like it. It's been very important for us to be able to make a tool that system integrators can actually use themselves and be self-sufficient and make money on it. And so we really appreciate the community for being behind the tool FinBuilder, and even more, we're excited for what we have next year and how we can make this tool and other experiences even better.
So, Jason, I alluded earlier when I was introducing you about In-Haystack and seeing you and Scott on stage in Chattanooga. For our listeners who might not know what In-Haystack is, which is also up for an award, give us a layman's version of In-Haystack.
So also, I guess In-Haystack is up for an award. It's important to know that Haystack is really about the community. It's not about J2 Innovations. We're just so behind this community and what it does for modeling data. What Haystack does is allow you to model your buildings so that machines can now talk to machines, and so we know what things are. So find out more at project-haystack.org. But what we did is we wanted to take that in the Niagara community to be able to make that easier to get data out of JACEs and to be able to model JACEs. So what we created is N-Haystack, and you could download that from project-haystack.org. And N-Haystack is a jar file that just drops right into a JACE and a supervisor and allows system integrators to tag up their data and make it readable by machines. It's also a new protocol that's plugged in there, so it's much, much faster than other previous protocols and very compressed, and we hope that you guys like it. There's a lot more coming where that's from as well, so stay tuned.
And Jason, congratulations for being nominated for 2013 CTA Controls Executive of the Year.
So I guess I'm up for the Executive of the Year. Well, I know I'm going to lose that one. There's a lot of people out there who are up for the award, but I really appreciate Control Trends and the community for putting me up there. Thank you for the opportunity.
Alrighty, Jason, that's all good stuff. Tell us what you see happening in the future with J2 Innovations and FinBuilder.
What is the vision that I see? Well, it's not what I see, but our company sees everything getting easier for end users, system integrators, and machines to be able to do more of the work so that system integrators and other people can focus on doing the more important stuff. We have stuff coming out next year that we're really excited, and it kind of evolves and around some of what's been going on in the Haystack community. So if you want alarms and ControlTalk and all sorts of things to just work, that's what I think the future is, and what we're looking at doing is just making things easier and better for system integrators, OEMs, and users, so that BAS and other industries are much easier to get in and out of jobs.
Okay, Kenny, that's it. Jason Briggs, one of the really cool guys in our industry. I want a shirt like he's wearing. What about you?
Very nice. Eric, next up we have Realcomm webinar, Best of the Best for 2013 Intelligent Building Technologies. This was a post we got on behalf, or thanks to Mark Peacock, Vice President of Marketing, LinkSpring, who was a top contributor on these best practices. Basically, it's Realcomm at its finest. You've got an incredible faculty, let's say, of building intelligent building experts, and they cover the best practices as far as technology goes, as far as the new products go, as far as the service and the concepts. So this is involving the high-profile smart building applications, and it was a great webinar, and I highly recommend you sign up for the Realcomm site because they make these webinars available, and they really do keep you up to date on what's happening.
Well, they do, Kenny, and as you know, we got a chance to meet Jim Young and Howard Berger down at Realcomm in Orlando. It was our first Realcomm conference, and it was just off the chain. It was good stuff. And I think that Jim and everybody else would agree that at the heart of an intelligent building is the information gathering and processing graphics package, and we have several of those up for the Control Trends Awards, including J2 Fenn, who we spoke with Jason Briggs earlier, DGLogik with Eugene Mazzo. Brian Turner from ControlTalk was on last week, Sky Spark. So we got a host of them. Our friend Alpert from BAS Graphics. So we'll break that category down a little bit later.
Derek, next up, Siemens becomes a sponsor member of the Open ADR Alliance and joins the board of directors. We've been like a dog on a bone on this whole development, and it's really, really interesting. But now you got this global powerhouse, Siemens, views Open ADR as a key piece for demand response strategies. And they join the board of directors comprised of the Southern California Edison, the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, Pacific Gas and Electric, AutoGrid, Enernoc, and Honeywell. So you're looking at some very formidable people putting together the brain trust that's going to basically generate and enact the standards for the Open ADR.
Well, Kenny, I got to take my hat off to you because you've sort of been tracking this all along, and you sort of called it. I think at one point in time you said to me off air, I wonder how long it's going to be before Siemens gets involved in this. So good call on that, buddy. And ADR just continues to become more and more prevalent. And again, we won't talk about it again on this show, Kenny, but we've talked about it a lot. How it could affect people like you and me, how it can affect the contractors in our business. But I think our general consensus is overall it's going to be a really good thing. But you have to sort of stay informed with that. So great call on that, Kenny. And what do we have up next, my friend?
The post was the IT Business Edge 10 worst data breaches of 2013. And this is a good. I love these guys because they're at the forefront of all the IT news and information, all the products and all the services. But basically, one of the most surprising breaches named by experts in the roundup wasn't really that surprising was the NSA contractor Edward Snowden's leaks. But they cover the top breaches that happened in 2013, and we're talking some pretty crazy things like the Adobe made 150 million accounts were exposed. NSA newsletter or NSA Muscular intercepted the Yahoo and Google accounts. And DOE made 104,000 employee personnel and contractor records available. But I mean, this is just really interesting stuff. If you think about it, it's kind of scary. And we don't try to pretend to be IT experts at that level. I'd recommend go to the IT Business Edge website and read to your heart's content. But we do have a segue that we go into a couple of our security products that we do have and know, that we can recommend to the Control Trends community. And that is Contemporary Controls has the BAS Cloud VPN hosted service with the EIPRV VPN router, and of course we have LinkSpring, the Lynx Cyber Pro, which we are as an industry becoming more and more contributory towards protecting our own vulnerabilities and reducing the vulnerabilities of our customers to the cyber hacks and cyber terrorism.
Very cool stuff, Kenny. Yeah, so fascinating stuff there. I'm actually a Adobe Creative Cloud user, so. I might have been one of those guys who got hacked, but Ed Merwin, who I talked to, we'll talk about Ed a little bit more in the show, but was in town last week, and I was understanding that not only did they do that, but they also hacked and got the code for some of these products that they've written, like Photoshop and things like that. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's conjecture on my part. That's what I heard, but that was a big leak that they actually got in and got their entire programs for programming programming code for a lot of these programs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But to your point, Kenny, I think internet security is something that we all have to pay attention to. And at Control Trends, we're going to try and keep up with solutions that'll help you with your building automation control systems. So, Kenny, what do we have up next?
All right, next up is a Honeywell Spider on the move. Honeywell expands Spider controller portfolio to add flexibility and reduced installation times for contractors. Again, I really enjoyed it. It was a post that you put up there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and how, again, this is from a business perspective. And products are good, but if they come together as a portfolio and you can get more with less, basically that's what we're all after. We're trying to be more efficient with our time, and at the end of the day, make a customer happy and make a profit doing it.
Well, Kenny, it was a press release that Honeywell put out, and essentially they are adding additional bits and pieces of the Spider product line, which is sort of, just speaking candidly here, I think it's, for a lot of people, it's a little bit of a love-hate relationship. I think it's probably one of the most powerful, price-competitive controllers on the market, and that's the love part. And I think the people that really understand and know how to use that just absolutely love the product. At least right now, it's not for the faint of heart. Meaning if you get in, it's a little bit like you can get in over your head with this thing, and if you're not qualified to do it, you can get yourself in trouble on that. So I think that's where a lot of those issues have sort of come about. Now, what I heard, Kenny, off the record, sort of rumor, and this is not from anybody at Honeywell, but it's sort of an industry thing that is going around, that Honeywell is making a huge, perhaps one of their biggest investments in the technology in the Spider, revamping the Spider product line, which I think bodes really, really well for those people that use Honeywell products, that are Honeywell contractors or Honeywell distributors. Again, that's not coming from Honeywell. That's just what I'm hearing sort of through the grapevine. So take that with a grain of salt. But this post, the press release that Honeywell put out, is an indicator that the Spider's not going away. I think they're just going to revamp it, make it bigger, better, and that's what we heard at the Honeywell Momentum events, and that's sort of the press releases, alluding to the fact that they're backing up some of the statements they're making and starting to make results. So Honeywell Spider is on the move, Kenny, and going to be interesting to see what they come up with.
Indeed, Eric. Just to piggyback off what you're saying is, first Honeywell restructured the pricing. Product pricing for the Spider line, and I'm sure everybody in the Honeywell Web's business knows that that's going to be good and bad too, but it's certainly going to make Spiders less expensive and easier to install. Less expensive to install. But just to review, what they're doing with the Spider is they're not waiting to see what everybody else is doing. They're leading the way with the Silk Bus, and it's making you're pulling less wires, and the installation time and costs are going down. They added the relays to the Spiders so that you could put one Spider out there and it does the work of a big controller now, because you can keep adding to it. And you're right. So in summary, the ability to use existing program logic within a single wire sheet, shorten installation times, frees up IOs to add flexibility, and in the Silk-enabled bus offers contractors either local or remote installation flexibility. So hats off to Honeywell. It is a very formidable product, and we have a lot of contractors that this is how they make a living. This is their linebacker product. This is what they go to work with.
Yeah, it's their all-star product. Yeah, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that the Spider is up for the 2013 DDC Controller of the Year. We're not going to break that category down today, but they're up for that. Tom Rosbach, who we interviewed on Control Talk now a while back, is up for the 2013 Executive of the Year. And Tom's making some really, really powerful, some strong moves, I think. And one of them, Larry Andrianis is in the position where he's over the DDC product. And Larry has a background. He was a contractor growing up. He's grew up in the business. He really understands, the granular level of this, what it's like to have to wire an input or an output. So you got a guy that both in Tom and Larry that are product guys that understand products. And again, I think it bodes really, really well for Honeywell. I hope we can get Larry on the show sometime to talk a bit about, maybe before the voting takes place, Kenny, to talk about the Spider and the Honeywell DDC product line. But again, Honeywell's doing some really strong things, and congratulations to Tom and Larry and the team at Honeywell.
Good stuff, Eric. Yep, looking forward to it. This brings us to our last post, Eric. The Niagara Summit 2014, powered by possibilities. And did we mention it's in Las Vegas? This is really exciting because I'm looking at snow, and I can't wait to get into a warmer environment. I'm not a winter guy at all, but the Niagara users can't miss this. This is going to be in Vegas, and this is going to have a business track, an applications track, a developer track, and a technologies track. And that's one thing we learned as a business, that when you go out there, you need to have clones out there, because there's just so much information and the networking possibilities. I've been out there on many occasions, and we've gotten business, and we've seen business happen right in front of us. We've seen everything from people from overseas talk to people from our area, and it actually led into business, and that's what it's all about. So the networking, the sharing of information here, this is again, that openness and that interoperability is actually evidenced here at the summit. You'll see things that you won't see anywhere else, because people they're trying to impress everybody and they're trying to show their wares off. But for anybody in the business, and all the trends and all the new stuff happening in the business are going to be demoed and displayed there on display from the various sponsors and the various participants. And who should attend? End users, owners, consultants, media, analysts, and sales personnel. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, yeah, Kenny, I got to tell you, that's one of the best conferences. They do it every 2 years. They do a great job. Julie Hardesty, a shout out to Julie. Julie does the marketing of that and coordinates that conference. And Kenny, I can remember it wasn't too long ago that we were meeting down in Florida and it was 500 or 600 people, and now they're in the thousands. It's in Las Vegas. It's top shelf. You'll see that if you're in this industry and you're involved in building automation, or you want to get involved in building automation, this is the one show that you want to get to. There is something there for everybody. And hey, Kenny, Ed Merwin, who sort of does everything at Vicon, stopped by last week. He visited us in Atlanta, so I think it's a great time. I had a little conversation with Ed. Here's an excerpt from that conversation. Ed?
Community coming together, and that's really what we want. We want the community to be totally involved in this. There'll be community vendors there showing off products that they developed. We'll have our traditional people there. We'll have booths, the Tridium booth there with all the new technology that's there. We'll be doing a lot of demos. But the whole idea is we want to get end users and the people where the rubber hits the road. We want the end users and the systems integrators that are doing these unique things in the industry to speak to it. So we'll have a business track that talks about, what do we do with this big data? Is there a business around big data? What do we do with it? That might be one example. Another one might be, how do you do a very large job? Suppose I've got to go do 500 buildings and I've got to do that in 1 year. What are some of the best practices we could do to do that with Niagara? On the application track, James Johnson, who is the number one person in Niagara, as far as I'm concerned, out there, he'll be doing his show, which is always packed, talking about new concepts from a technical standpoint. We'll have a developer track. And then this year, we're having a more advanced track for more enterprise type owners. People that want to look at it from a high level, which would be we're trying to put some content for CFOs, for CEOs that are looking at taking and touching their building more and how they can create value with that. So that's really, and actually that's a track that Nino came up with. And he said, we really need something for the people at the C-suite. So we'll actually have a track for C-suite type people to learn that. And if you haven't been there, I just can't tell you how much energy is around there, because everybody, it's kind of like being at a car show and everybody wants to show off what they've been doing. And people, the technology flies, people share a lot of great data. And we have a lot of fun too, because it's always it's going to be at the Cosmopolitan Las Vegas this year. We'll come in on Sunday, we'll all have a chance to meet each other, and then we'll hit it hard on Monday and Tuesday. But in the evenings, you'll be able to have some very nice social events, meet the vendors that'll be there. And again, we'll have some very, every year the vendor community grows. There's always some really cool technology that is a breakthrough at the summit. And there's just a lot of good folks that are going to be there.
Right, Eric. Boy, that was really impressive. Ed Merwin's quite a guy and quite an executive. And just to all the ControlTrends.org guys and girls, we have a registered now link on the site, on the post. So please use that if you need to register for the Powered by Possibilities Niagara Summit 2014.
And what are the dates on that, Kenny?
The dates, Eric, are April 27th through the 29th, of course, 2014.
And the Cosmopolitan Hotel, or?
The Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, and this is one of the newer, swankier.
Is one of those clothing optional hotels.
Well, I tell you what, I've been there, and they've got a pool on the top floor. It's a VIP club, and we knew somebody. I don't know how somebody got us past the door guys, but we got the zip right around about 150 person line, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I don't know how you keep something like that in operation, but they had a pool that joined the bar. People would go from the bar to the pool with very little in between. So it's just a very impressive place. And the view of Las Vegas, the boulevard there is one of a kind. So it is going to be a very exciting event. And again, has both punches. The right cross is going to be the knowledge and just the incredible networking and the learning. And the left jab is going to be, every day is going to have something special and exciting. And if you can't have fun in Las Vegas, then
you can't have fun, buddy. You can't have fun if you can't have fun in Las Vegas. So
I didn't want to say what I was going to say, so I'm glad you took over. Thank you.
Well, awesome. Well, listen, Ed Merwin, like I say, came by for a chat. I'll be posting that, the entire chat with Ed Merwin later, probably this week. And thanks again for Ed for that. And hope to see you guys in Las Vegas. So
We for the last post is going to be the another pivot point to bring in more biographies and more historical people, important people in the HVAC industry. And then in conclusion, we'd love to thank once again our sponsors, Honeywell, J2 Innovations, and Contemporary Controls. Once again, thank you very much. And it's for good cause, and it's going to be a great show in New York.
Well, there you have it. We're another week of Control Talk now for the week ending December 15th, 2013. I'd like to thank our guests this week, Jason Briggs from J2 Innovation, Arthur Ledebimsky from DGLogik, and our expert from Ed Merwin. Thanks for Roger Rebenek for that great introduction. I'm Eric Stromquist. He's Ken Smyers. We'll see you next week on ControlTrends.org and on the show next week at Control Talk Now.
Indeed, Eric.